Happy New Year. I wish each and every one of you, all of our VEF people, as well as all of our friends and relatives who may be listening to this, I wish you God's very best for 2022. You know, Rhonda and I stayed up last night real late, much later than we normally do. We stayed up and watched a movie and welcomed in the new year. And we watched an old movie that is a classic. If you haven't watched it, it's worth watching. It's called The Diary of Anne Frank. Anne Frank was a teenage Jewish girl in the worst time maybe of human history, in the midst of, right at the end of World War II. And her family, they were in hiding for months and discovered by the Nazis and sent to concentration camps. She and her sister died in concentration camp of starvation. Her mother and most of her immediate family died of the gas chambers. Her father did survive. But even greater than that, Anne kept a detailed diary, and that diary survived. So we have a very accurate picture of the life, of the suffering, of the unimaginable pain and horror that millions of people, Jewish people, suffered during World War II. And one can only hope that the depth of human depravity that was experienced during those years would never, ever again be heaped upon the world. But the thing that really caused me pause is that most of those Nazi guards were, quote, baptized Christians. I would say 80 to 90% of them were, maybe even more. And it's like, how can that be? Isn't this the best example that we can think of, that Christianity is not a good thing? I mean, look at this Christian nation that Germany was. Look at what happened. Look at what happened. And it reminded me more than ever before that lukewarm Christianity, or Christian faith that is not vibrant, Christians who do not take their faith very seriously, Christianity that is shallow, cosmetic, just okay on the surface, is absolutely dangerous and lethal. Why is that? Because it becomes a license. Because the grace of God and the love of God becomes a license to justify anything you want to do. Even the murder of innocent people. It can be justified. Well, God forgives me. Right? The grace is greater than my sin. Right? Right? So I want to wish each and every one of you, those of you who you would be quick to say, I am Christian. I wish each and every one of you for 2022 a faith that is anything but shallow. A faith that is absolutely vibrant and alive and is the driving force of your life. Anything less, friends, is very dangerous, to be honest. And so I think of, when we see the Bible, we see two big pillars, the law of God and the love of God and His grace. So we say law and grace. When we view the Bible, law and grace, law and grace. And many Christians, they like the grace and the love of God, but they don't do much with the law of God. Why is that? The Ten Commandments, the law of God, it exposes our sin. It exposes where we're off track, where we're out of sync. And so the law of God, we believe and teach the law of God is for us. It's for our spiritual growth. It's a little bit difficult because it does expose us, but it gives us a guide also. The Holy Spirit uses that guide. These are the ways of God. These are not laws to make us miserable so we live a life of guilt. These are laws so we think, oh, wow, this is the true way. This is the path of life. All of these things that the law, all the 10 commandments, we know them very well. And these tell us how to live. So my friend, I wish for you especially, for those of you who, how long has it been since you looked at the law of God, since you took the law of God seriously? How long has it been since you read Exodus 20 or Deuteronomy 5, where you find the 10 commandments there, or even looked at a list of the 10 commandments? How long has it been since you took that seriously? It's been said, the love of God without the law of God is like a river with no banks. It quickly becomes a stench. So, I wish for you that kind of faith. You don't have to have theological training to have a vibrant, active, living faith, but you have to take it seriously. You have to want it, and desire it, to know the words of God and to follow the words of God. I wish you that for 2022. God bless you.